Only fakers be love you when you have. When they ready, then to ama when he ready. Only fakers be love you when you have. When they ready, then to ama when he ready. Loyalty, loyalty, loyalty. Loyalty, loyalty, loyalty. Hello guys, I am back again. Today, I'm going to be revealing how Cubana ChiefPriest has exposed himself to not love Davido this way he has been posting. You know, it is only so long that you can pretend. Now he has unraveled and exposed to the whole world that he doesn't really love Davido, somebody who I feel loves him wholeheartedly. You know, he even gave him a second chance despite the fact that they had a falling out, I think last year or 2 years ago. He still took him back, but I'm shocked that he could unravel to the extent of now showing the world that he doesn't really love Davido as much. But before I proceed, kindly subscribe to my channel, switch on the notification and get a pen and paper to write things down because you are going to be learning some life lessons today from this episode. Thank you for doing that. So now let's get the show on the road. If you can remember, when he inherited Davido's beef with Burna Boy, I warned him about the dangers of inheriting a beef that has nothing to do with you. You know, I felt at that point that it was Davido that was in a beef with Burna Boy and should have been left that way. But I was shocked when Cubana ChiefPriest jumped at the opportunity to actually, inherit the beef, and he did wholeheartedly. But I warned that this action of his would have broad implications and consequences. But it has not been too long now that he has unraveled and has shown himself to not love Davido that much. And that's because he talks too much. He posts too much, and now he has made a very costly mistake that is going to likely affect his relationship with Davido, because once Davido gets to see this or gets notified about what this guy has done, he's definitely most likely going to give him some distance. It's sad, but it's the reality. I warned him. He can't say nobody warned him. We warned him, the whole world warned him, but he kept on doing it. But now it has backfired and he's about to lose his dear best friend, as he normally calls Davido, due to his own doings. Now I don't know where he wants to run to, because it is obvious that Davido is one of his lifelines in life, and now he has used his own tongue to show that he doesn't really actually love this guy much. And I'm going to be exposing how he did it and what we can learn from what this guy did, and how you can protect and guide against falling victim of the same mistake. It is not all every time that you have to talk, and even if you want to talk, measure your words. Let your words be filled with grace. Analyze everything, because once you say some things, you can't take them back, especially in this social media age that everybody is on the prowl. Everybody is hunting to see your flaws and mistakes. Now he has served his enemies a food on a silver platter, and they are currently feasting, and it's only a matter of time before it gets to the attention of Davido, and Davido will likely sever ties with him. So like I said, I will be discussing under some topics. The initial warnings, I've already talked about that. I warned him initially that I shouldn't inherit Davido's beef with Burna Boy, but he did not heed my warning. He did not heed. He went ahead, gun blazing, dragging Burna Boy as if there is no tomorrow. But in the course of dragging him, he has now made a costly mistake. I am not that to him, he was trying to show loyalty to Davido, but it's now proving to be like a fake show of loyalty. Because if you are showing loyalty, you don't have to inherit the beef of the person you are loyal to. You can just maintain your lane and still be loyal, like I said in that episode. It has now backfired, and I'm going to be telling you how it's backfired. But before then, let me provide more context and premise. You will remember that before now, Davido and Wizkid had a very public back and forth. And after that initial back and forth, Wizkid still took it upon himself to continue dragging Davido even after Davido had stopped. He didn't only drag Davido, he dragged him mercilessly. He shamed him with everything that he had in his arsenal. He even went to the extent of shaming and mocking Davido's uncle. the current governor of Osun State, mocking him for always dancing and the likes. I wonder when it became a crime to love dancing. But he shamed him, he mocked him for having an uncle that dances at any given opportunity. He didn't stop at that. He even went personal. He mocked Davido's wife, Chioma, and even mocked their wedding. I can remember that on the day of their wedding, he was still trolling until people called him to order that he should stop. That was when he stopped and now made some clarification. But we all know that he was trying to throw Davido on that wedding and was mocking Chioma that Chioma is putting up with so many things and the likes, that she is a strong woman and the likes, throwing jabs at him. He respected no boundaries. You know, he even used the video of Davido's vulnerable moment, the viral video of Davido begging. He used him against Davido and still uses it anytime he wants to throw Davido. So he went all out, used everything. He even mocked his crew members. He said Davido is not empowering them, they are beggars and the likes. And you know that Cubana ChiefPriest is part of Davido's crew members, technically. So he was also mocking Cubana ChiefPriest and everybody. So he took no prisoners. He took all of them to the cleaners and used everything that he could lay his hands on to mock Davido. You know, it was terrible. And everybody knew that this guy went beyond the line of reasoning. But after that, one would expect that everybody in the camp of Davido would align with Davido and not be seen to associate with anything that has to do with Wizkid, because he took no prisoners, he mocked all of them, he shamed all of them. So it was clear that Wizkid had something against all of them. There was no middle grounds, there was no exceptions. He dragged all of them, you know. And some showed that they took it personally and they were loyal to Davido. And one of the examples is that loyalty should be total. There is no middle ground in loyalty. It's either you are loyal or you are disloyal. And somebody that actually showed and proved that loyalty is total was Davido's cousin, Nikos. And the way he showed it was simple. Nobody expected him to show that much loyalty, but he showed it. There was a viral video of Nikos dancing to some music, some songs, and when the song changed to a song by Wizkid Ojo Elegba, what did she do? She almost got carried away, but she stopped dancing to show that she is standing with Davido no matter what. Because Wizkid dragged her own father too. Her father is the current governor of Osun State. So by inference, Wizkid dragged her. So she was intentional by showing that she is loyal to the Adeleke family. She's standing with Davido, she's standing with her uncle. She could have continued dancing and people wouldn't have noticed, but she stood her ground and she stopped dancing. That's the height of loyalty. That's the highest way to show loyalty. And nobody expected it from her, but she showed it regardless. You know, that's one of the way. In loyalty, there are no middle grounds. You can't say you are loyal to some extent. It's either you are totally loyal or you are totally disloyal. There is no but, there is no middle ground, there is anything. Loyalty is 100%. Now, let me go to where Cubana messed up. How he exposed himself that he doesn't really love Davido that much. I know he wasn't thinking when he did that, but now it's going to prove very fatal to their friendship, and it's going to send the wrong signal to people that have Cubana ChiefPriest as their friends. Now, it was in his response to Burna Boy. That was where he showed that he doesn't actually love Davido. Let us go to the response. I mean the latest response. You know, what happened, what elicited the response was that one of Burna Boy's aides, I think tells his producer, was driving along the road in Ikoyi, and Burna Boy retweeted the post. Now, Cubana ChiefPriest went to the public and said Burna Boy sent somebody to monitor him because that neighborhood where Tails was driving is where Cubana ChiefPriest is currently staying with his family. So it was not like it was Burna Boy's way of telling him that they know where he stays and he has people monitoring him. So he went to the public. Why the his alarm be raised is logical and valid. Nobody should take such lightly. But he went overboard, he crossed the line, and I'm going to be showing you. That is the post where he addressed Burna Boy that he is monitoring him and the likes. He made so many allegations and he said he has reported to the police. But where he crossed the line was here. Where he said, all your men shall fall that day if you cross my lane. I know all of you remember this line, and this line is from a song by Wizkid. The title of the song is Back to the Matter. I want to believe. Back to the Matter. You know, I know so that it flew over the head of so many, but the discerning ones quickly spotted this, that you want to respond to somebody that doesn't like your best friend, Davido, and you are now using lines from the song of another person that has publicly shown his disgust towards Davido. What kind of rookie mistake and disloyalty is that? You could have used so many other lines to buttress your point, but you chose the line credited to Wizkid to respond to Davido. That is an aberration and an unforgivable way of showing where you stand. Now, using Wizkid lyrics on a normal day wouldn't have called for much scrutiny and it wouldn't have raised eyebrows, but considering the fact that Wizkid was very brutal and brutish in the way he dragged Davido recently, dragged his crew member, dragged you yourself to Cubana, you shouldn't have used these lyrics to respond to Burna Boy. This shows where your heart lies. It is in things like this that we know where people stand. You shouldn't have used that line. It shows that you truly don't love Davido, because there are so many lines, so many lyrics from the songs of Davido that you could have used to respond to Burna Boy as a show of loyalty. But because you are not totally loyal to Davido, you went to use a line from a song by somebody that has a very strong beef towards him. You know, it shows that you still vibe with Wizkid secretly, and Wizkid shamed Davido publicly, and that shows that you are still listening to his lyrics, you are still vibing to him, his songs secretly, and this doesn't augur well with you. It's not going to augur well with Davido either, because somebody of your caliber who claims to be Davido's best friend shouldn't be caught using a lyrics from one of his arch rivals, was one of the people that have shown publicly that they don't like your best friend. You know, it's like being friends with somebody that is an enemy of your friend. How does that work? Definitely you can't claim such is normal, and that's what this guy has shown here. That's why I said he has exposed himself, he has shown himself for whom he is, and it's going to prove fatal to their friendship. And now, this is why Davido must be very, very careful. This guy has shown his hands publicly now. It is not left to you to be wise enough to be discerning to distance yourself from him. He has shown you now who he truly is, who he truly vibes with, because you've released like more than 2 or 3 albums. He could have used any of your lyrics to drive home these points, but he went to choose a lyrics from the song of one of your strongest enemies in the industry. That's a major indictment on Cubana ChiefPriest, and it's a major snag to your relationship with him. You must be very careful. It is very dangerous to keep somebody like him close to you. For somebody to stoop so low to use the lyrics of your rival, somebody that has publicly shown that he is disgusted about your success and your well-being, that shows this person must be kept at arm's length. And I hope you do that as a matter of urgency before it gets too late. You know, I'm warning you now. I hope you heed and listen. It's either he is for you or against you. He has shown that he's not totally for you, and he can't say this is something that should be pardoned. He has shown, there was a time that he showed his hand also. I think when you were having an issue with one baby mama and the likes, he publicly stood with Chioma against you that time. I think that was the reason why you guys had that beef that time, but you later settled. He shouldn't have come for public that time, but he went public to address you, and I'm sure that it hurt you and you distance yourself from him. Now is another opportunity for you to put paid to this friendship with him, because it's looking as if the friendship is not parasitic. I feel he's leveraging on you to build his network, and it's not genuinely for you. From all the things he has been showing, first was the issue with Chioma that he publicly stood against you. Now is the issue with Burna Boy that is using the lyrics from one of your most bitter rivals to address another enemy of yours. So I think these things are not coincidences. You know, in life, I don't believe in too many coincidences. and I want to believe this is who this guy is really is. This is where he stands, and you must do everything possible to keep him at arm's length so that you won't regret it. So I feel that's all I have to say about how this guy eventually unraveled and exposed himself and showed the world where he truly stands. It is most likely that he stands more with Wizkid than with Davido, at least from what we have seen so far. And this is like the second time he's going to be making this kind of error. And I hope he comes to his right senses and he stops doing something like this, because it's going to cost him a whole lot of relationships with so many good people. Well, that's all I have to say. I hope it gets to the intended recipient, who is Davido, and I hope Cubana also picks one or two things from this episode, and I hope my listeners are also learning from this how to spot who is for you and who is against you, and what to do whenever you spot such people. Well, till we meet again in another episode, kindly subscribe to my channel, switch on the notification, and so that you can get notified anytime I drop another bumper and interesting content. Till we see you again, bye.